The powers that be have never liked young, outspoken voices being heard when those young, outspoken voices are saying something that they don't want you to say. Watch how they reach in and try to shut this woman down at her graduation.
You all to see what's about to happen at this high school graduation as this student is about to finish her speech.
2026, this is our moment. Let's move forward with confidence, ambition, and hope for the future. Before I leave the stage, I have one last thing to say. Every single person here has a voice, and we are privileged to have the freedom to use it when so many people around the world are struggling and they're suffering to be heard. Whether it's the millions suffering in Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Afghanistan, and so many other countries around the world, these are the families being torn apart by ICE. These are not distant issues. They are happening right now as I speak. My point is, we're not given a voice to stay silent and to just...
At the end, they panned the camera away from her, and according to reports, they physically removed her from the stage. And then they threatened with not giving her her diploma. But the irony that she was speaking about using your voice while they stopped her from advocating the way she wanted. Now, as you all know, I used to be a high school principal, and at graduations, we used to vet students' speeches to make sure that they weren't saying anything out of pocket. And every year, students would add things that were not on their speech. From my perspective, I don't think what they did here was cool. If they wanted to get her in trouble, they could have done it afterwards, lo que sea. But I did not perceive this as anything other than a plea for her people, for her colleagues, for other students to get active and use their voice. And unfortunately for the school, I think silencing somebody like this might actually fuel more people to want to be outspoken. I just want to pay my respects to her. It takes a lot of bravery to step up and speak truth to power. Familia, what do you all think about this? What she said, what happened, anything I said, let's talk about it.
I think you're 100% correct. She was trying to use her moment to advocate for her and her generation to have their voices heard. And clearly, the people in the crowd were on her side when she started to speak. You heard the applause, you heard the eruption, right? But here comes the powers that be. We can't have that. We can't have you expressing your own opinions. We can't have you being a free critical thinker. I understand that you don't want a student to say something that would embarrass your school, your institution, or incite some type of violence in some way, shape, or form. She did none of that. She advocated for this generation to use the power of their voice to better society. And you guys couldn't handle her saying that, which tells me everything I need to know about you guys.